My name's Erica Wagner. I'm a restaurant owner and I'm from the Landing Oyster House and Pub. I worked at the Landing when I was a kid. I started working there when I was 12 as a dishwasher. I really loved the atmosphere. The live music, we were there nights sometimes till really late at night. And being like a 12-year-old kid, you were like, oh, this is so cool. And I remember I had my first oyster when I was at the pub. Patrick McMurray, who's actually one of the Canadian World Oyster Shuckers, handed me an oyster under the bar. I'll never forget it. It was a busy night. He's like, here you go. He passed me one and I had it and I was like, that was it. I mean, you have a World Oyster Shucker looking at you while you're eating an oyster, you're gonna eat it. I just remember the energy and just how much fun people had there and how relaxed people were. And I got other jobs and went to university and whatever, and then I finished my degree and my parents told me that the Landing was for sale. Being young and foolish, I decided to write a business plan, and I remember a winter on that, and we started looking for funding, not really knowing kind of the routes to take. Banks were like, no. And so we kind of had to be more creative in where to go for funding. I actually used to work in the building that the CBDC is in. I worked with Young Millionaires program, and so I kind of was familiar with what they did and everything like that. So I contacted some of the people that I used to work with there, and they kind of pointed me in the direction of the funding that the CBDC provided. And they have a really easy application online, really straightforward, and they look more at your experience and your character and the passion that you have for your business, as opposed to, I was like 22 or something, so I didn't really have like a lot of great credit history or a lot of experience running a business. So I just had a lot of passion, and I really, really wanted to live in Tyne Valley, live in the area where I grew up. I really wanted to have my own business. Like, my parents were all business people, entrepreneurs. So they look at that. So that's really helpful for a young person that's looking to go into business, because you might not have all of this, fancy resume experience and stuff. So, for me, in the place that I was in my life, it was easy. It was really easy to apply. It's really exciting. It's hard sometimes. You gotta keep all your ducks in a row. They don't tell you when you're, they tell you all this stuff, like, you work your own hours, but they don't tell you that you don't really work your own hours. You work all the hours. You can't really say, oh, I'm only gonna work till this time today. Well, you're always on, and that can be really challenging. Especially since I've become a mother, I find it even more challenging to kind of set aside time for work and set aside time for being a mother and set aside time for myself. And you gotta really compartmentalize your life in that way, or else you're just always gonna be working, which is great when you're 22, not so great when you're a mother and you're a little older. It is challenging, but it's really rewarding. When you have a really great team of people, and you know that all the work that you do helps them live their life and support their families and stuff like that, that's really important to me. And that's what keeps me going when things get tough. I remember that it's not just me in the game anymore. I have people that have worked with me since the inception of the business, and they become your family, and you care about them like family. When people stop at the Landing, it's almost a history lesson as much as it is a really good meal. And you get to see the culture, the real, Prince Around culture, in not just the food that you eat, but also the people that you talk to and the people, like the stories that they tell. And we're really all about that. When we hire people, we tell them that they're island ambassadors. You have to talk about seafood as it's the only thing that you'll ever eat, and be so excited about not just the food, but the fact that, Tyne Valley is like this little picturesque town, and you gotta kind of pass that on to your customer. And I think we do a pretty good job at that.